Righty, we're here with Pip. This is a new segment. Don't know if it's going to go well, but we'll give it a go. Essentially, we're going to be giving performance reviews to famous history figures.
What a segment. What an absolute segment.
Has anyone actually ever been put on a Pip?
No. I've thankfully not been put on a Pip before.
So that's when you do something poo at the office.
I think it's more just consistent poor performance.
Yep.
And they can't fire you. Apparently firing someone in Australia especially is actually impossible.
Yeah, I think you need to have strong legal grounds. And so that's why the PIP exists.
That's why the PIP exists. So they put you on a performance plan for maybe 3 months or 6 months.
Yep.
And then
when you inevitably fail to reach
the
goals
set
outlined.
lofty standards. And when you don't reach it, they just give you the flick.
See you later, boss.
See you later, boss. So we are choosing some figures from history or from the world who we are going to performance review for various reasons. So we'll start with mine first. I've gone for an easy one. President Joe Biden, giving him a performance review. So we're here. We're all now members of the Illuminati. We control the US government. We control who is president. And we're not happy with how Joe Biden's been doing the last few months. We don't want Trump to win because we can't control him. Joe Biden, on the other hand, we can control. So we've pulled him into our office, our little office here in Sydney. And we're going to give Joe a performance review.
Not the Oval Office, just TCB office.
The TCB office. I just want to run a few reasons why I've called Joe in. His recent performances, such as calling the Ukrainian president Vladimir Putin, calling Kamala Harris Vice President Trump.
That's crazy.
And calling his chief of staff the commander-in-chief. And that was just in 1 week. There's literally a whole page of his gaffes and mistakes that he's made, including one where he said Nancy Pelosi rescued the economy from the Great Depression. The Great Depression obviously happened in 1920. He was referring to the Great Recession of 2008. So
Joe's lost it.
Joe's lost it. He's lost the plot. So for me, my main, reason for bringing him in, I've got two specific reasons. His mental aptitude has significantly dropped below not even presidential standards, just human standards in general, and his insomnia. Sleepy Joe. So those are the two areas that I have of concern. So how we're going to improve that? We're going to improve his cognitive ability and his memory, and we're going to try and get him to stay the fuck awake.
Okay.
How are we going to improve the memory?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, firstly, how we're going to measure it, what's success looking like for Joe? Very simple. Not making a single mistake in a presidential debate.
Nice.
I feel like that is a realistic target.
That's a very high bar.
I thought that was too high.
Is that too high of a bar?
In my opinion, I'd start him on the Nintendo DS brain training, perhaps.
I'm glad you said that. So my action plan is three-pronged. First, it's to get him on the 2005 seminal classic Dr. Kawashima's brain training for Nintendo DS. So we're going to get him on that daily. 3 times a day.
It's a good cadence.
Half an hour each for 2 weeks.
Nice.
I like it.
Next, we're going to do a 2-week intensive course at Kumon.
Beautiful.
Let's go back to basics. Take him back to primary school. Let's relearn the basics and we'll learn from there.
Any specific class?
Yeah.
Everything. Maths, English, general ability. We're going to, we're working on fundamentals here.
So is he by himself or is he with a student?
One-on-one with a tutor.
He's not in the class, just by himself.
I'm more of a pre-uni or North Shore kind of guy, to be honest. Kumon, I feel like the standards are a bit low, don't you think?
I thought because it's more international, so I feel like their standards would be higher.
I don't know. Everyone, what's the other one? Swat Shop.
Oh, Swat Shop.
He's so niche, dude.
Swat Shop?
What about Matrix education?
And then finally, the last part of the 2-week program is doing one of those free IQ tests that pop up when you're watching illegal sports streams. And we're going to do that once a week. So we'll check in after 1 week and then we'll check in again after the second week. Like I said, it's a 2-week program. He's going to be doing brain training daily. We're going to check in daily with him. Otherwise, he's just going to forget what he's doing, who we are, where he's at. And if there's no improvement after 2 weeks, it's
see you later.
2 bullets in the back of the head.
Bullets. Not even the flick.
To the retirement home for old Sleepy Joe.
Correct. Okay.
What do you guys think about my performance plan for Sleepy Joe?
I think we're aiming too high with the 0 mistakes in the election debates.
Yep.
I think maybe we give him a bit of leeway there just because,
he's on the bigger stage though.
I understand that, but everyone makes
mistakes. You got to hold him to the high standards.
I would say one slip up. That's it.
He's allowed one fuck up.
If you're making more than one on the presidential debate that's televised for all, we get a new candidate there.
What about senior moments when he just like zones out a bit or mouth open kind of vibe?
Look, I like him as a puppet for our bidding. So I would actually think instead of trying to improve him, which we all know is impossible, I'm thinking we just get some sort of speaker, have him mouth the words, just learn the script, mouth the words,
Yeah.
and it's our script that he displays. Do you know what I mean?
It's like that TikTok challenge. Who's singing?
Yeah, the Who's Singing challenge. Is it Joe or is it Sen in the background?
What do we like of our chances of Joe here?
It's very ambitious
It is.
because the training program itself is very intense. For a man
It's
of
gotta
his,
be, though.
for a man of his age, I don't know how much you can retain. You know the saying, can't teach an old dog new tricks.
I was actually
You're
gonna
teaching him a million tricks.
I was going to include some physical training as well, but I thought I might kill him.
No.
At 45 every morning.
No, probably for the best. To be honest, I love the brain training example. Dr. Kawashika changed my life and he can change Joe's as well.
Yep.
Joe, obviously, he's white. He never had to
Correct.
endure this sort of, mental fortitude
True.
and mental training at such a young age.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, a couple of hours a day, maybe.
And I think the best thing about this, it's measurable, Sen. There's clear,
They're smart
quantifiable
goals.
results that come out of these. So, we can make our decision quite confidently, I'd say.
All right. Well, we'll see how Joe goes. Kush, who have you got?
I am choosing Gylippus from the Peloponnesian War.
Fucking who?
So wait, first we'll let Joe leave the room first.
Joe is there.
Joe, piss off.
And now
We'll
we
bring
are
you in.
in the TCB office, and now we are with the Spartan epochs. Okay, that's who we are, and we are going to be reviewing Gylippus's performance in the Peloponnesian War, more specifically the Sicilian expedition, which he was part of.
It's famous.
Can you
Famous.
So for those, obviously everyone here knows who it is.
Correct.
Yeah,
Obviously.
you don't have to
Yeah.
dumb it down for
No,
us.
no, absolutely. Let me
But
just
for the
give
listeners,
a
that
quick
might not
recap
know.
might be handy.
Yeah, thank you.
So the Peloponnesian War between Sparta and Athens. Okay, there's multiple parts to the war. Sicilian expedition happens sometimes later near the end part of the war. Gylippus is a Spartan general that is tasked to take over the city of Syracuse. That is his job. His one and only job is to make sure Sparta wins Syracuse.
And Syracuse, it's an easy town, really.
No, it's actually one of the most difficult towns to capture.
Oh, is it?
It is right now. The Athenian general Nicias.
Oh, he's my favorite.
Well, he's a great general, but not for the Spartan Evox, I would say. He is there already waging war against the Syracusans. So Syracusans need help.
Oh, so they're
Oh,
calling
so
the
they're-
consultant.
Yeah, correct. Gylippus is there to
kind of-
help the Syracusans.
Where's Syracuse? Where is that?
I thought it was in the US, isn't it?
I thought that's where Carmelo Anthony went
Yeah.
to college for 4 years.
Carmelo Anthony's nowhere near in the Peloponnesian War, I
This
would
is in
say.
Greece.
What era are we talking? Is this the 80s,
Like the LeBron
90s?
era,
We're
the Jordan
talking
era.
420-ish BC is what
Oh,
we're
okay.
talking, okay? Quite further back.
All right.
So, Gylippus.
Mm.
In terms of Gylippus, what he did during the war was he went there to Syracuse, and I'm going to give you a quick recap as well what he did. So he went to Syracuse. He actually won. He
A
did.
championship.
Did his job.
He did very well. He built a wall, blocked the Athenians out of Syracuse, and then he got the Syracusans on his side and defeated 2 Athenian generals. A huge achievement for Gylippus.
I don't know why you're telling
But
us
when-
this. We were there.
Yeah,
we know.
but
Of
when-
course.
Correct. Just reminding you that he is an overall strong physical performer with great militaristic tendencies that show tactical and strategic excellence. So it's really a great start. So you might be wondering why he's on a pip.
Glazing this guy, bro.
That is true.
Yeah,
Trump
all
tried
I'm
to
hearing
build a
is-
wall. He was called a bigot.
Yeah, but do it in 420 BC. You're the GOAT.
No, well, this is the thing, and it's one of the parts that I'll be talking about in the measurable goals. So as a war general during this time, it is very important to build walls. It is a strategy to block out the opponent in this case. So the problem why Gylippus is being reviewed here is after the war, after he became as a renowned general, celebrated, the man actually got into financial embezzlement. He took funds that were actually meant for us, the Spartan epochs. He stole them from us, and so we must decide now what should happen to Gylippus as a result of his financial embezzlement, his fraud.
I heard that he built the wall out of shoddy materials as well to save costs. That's what I heard.
You might have to ask Thucydides. I'm not sure about if that's present in
No,
the
I
historical
thought-
books.
A lot of cost cutting.
I talked to him. I talked to
you
him.
talked to all Thucydides? All right, okay.
All the
So look, areas requiring improvement really is, how do we stop this guy from defrauding the company, which is the great nation of Sparta, really? And honestly, I'm going to keep it quite simple. It's execution or exile. It's got to be one of the two. I don't think there's an improvement plan here for Gylippus.
But of course, we can't just execute him without, at least
Due.
We got to get due process.
correct.
Can we
No
vote
due
on it,
process.
We are the process, so we
This
can
is
do
the
whatever.
due process.
This is whatever we discuss here is what we decide to do. So
actually? Judge, jury, and executioner.
the goals that I set out for Gylippus during this expedition were quite simple. One, cripple the nation of Athens. He did that. He crippled the nation.
He did well.
defeated 2 generals and he built walls. Great stuff. Wall building. He built a wall and
Again.
he blocked down Nicias. So that's really good.
But again, average materials.
Average
the
material.
brick I thought was not up to scratch.
Correct.
It
And
won't last 100 years.
yeah, I actually don't think it does, to be honest.
It doesn't?
No. Number 3, the legacy of a Spartan general. It's very important that you are renowned in the history books.
Mm.
He is now renowned as a traitor of Sparta.
Turncoat.
So he has failed in that regard.
Stolen valor.
So what is my action plan here? What sort of resources can I offer Gylippus to improve his performance? There will be nothing. There will be nothing offered to him. I say we exile him for such blatant treason to the great nation of Sparta. Get rid of him. And in terms of monitoring and reviewing Gylippus, it's going to be quite simple.
Mm.
Not one of his bones will set foot in the nation of Sparta. He will be exiled or he will die. It's as simple as that. My option, I say exile. Get rid of him. He did win us the war, so I don't think we can execute him. Just get rid of him.
How would you execute him? What was the choice of execution back then?
Oh, I think it was a little public execution. Spartans.
I love a public execution.
I'm not sure if our epochs, the presidents of the Spartan Society should be talking about this, but yeah, I'm going to say exile.
Exile?
Yeah.
I like it.
Nah, if this guy's stolen money, dude, kill him. Off with his head.
Off with his head.
But I'm saying we can't just kill him. We can't say that he stole our money.
Correct.
We've got to say, that's what I'm saying. This is the whole point. We got to put him on a performance plan. He's never going to reach it. And then we can,
And then you
slice
kill
his
him.
head off.
No.
Yeah.
There's
true.
no performance plan here in the Spartan Society.
Yours is just exile.
Yeah, it's either you meet it or you're dead. It's as simple as that, really. And he hasn't met it. I will not kill him because he did a decent job in the Sicilian
So
expedition.
he gets some respect.
He gets some respect. If he was anything else, if he was just a minor soldier who fought, he's done.
He's
How,
gone.
how much are we talking here?
Man, these are our riches, our wealth he's taken from us.
Do we know what he did with it? Bought some
Um,
prostitutes.
probably a bit of gambling, bit of prostitution, bit of gluttonous. So
Yeah.
Men really haven't changed over the last 2,000 years. All right, Ro, who you got?
All right, my friends. I've got someone else to put on a performance plan today. It's our good friend Tiger Woods.
Oh, Tiger Woods, as he sits down in front of us.
Well, no, I'd like him to leave the room. And I'd like to discuss amongst you,
Speak candidly.
speak candidly, what do we think we do with Tiger? He's been getting in some hot water recently.
and who are we? We are the PGA Tour Masters, Chairmans. Who are we?
We are Tiger Woods' boss.
Concerned Samaritans.
Okay, all right.
A whole mix of people,
Yeah,
essentially.
okay.
Mate, we're a company that has everyone. We're the number one company. We've got Joe Biden on our books. We've got
Gylippus.
Gylippus and we've got
General
Tiger.
who's been dead for 2,000 years.
But we'll say, look, let's talk about Tiger, right? He's shown uncanny ability to hit white balls into holes from ridiculous distances, make them disappear, some may say. However, it seems like he's also made things disappear. It extends to beyond the golf course, including his wedding ring and our public image, which I think is the number one concern.
Yep.
PR,
right.
it's a PR.
Correct.
So let's be real, right? Of course, for all areas requiring improvement, his aim with the golf club, impeccable. Unless there's a tree involved. Then he becomes a lumberjack with a vendetta. Really. Area 2. We've noticed his nocturnal escapades. They end with a bang. Whether it's with women, fire hydrants, or hedges. He's got an uncanny ability to run into stationary objects, within a 5 kilometer radius. It's actually amazing when you think about it. As for his extracurricular activities, let's just say he's been playing more than 18 holes.
Far more than 18 holes, some would say.
This guy thinks monogamy is a type of expensive wood. And this is not the type of scoring that we as a company were hoping for.
Absolutely.
Let's be real. So his performance goals, right? I'd like him to master the art of calling a cab, first of all, first and foremost. The stretch goal really is to recognize that if you can't walk in a straight line, you definitely can't drive in one. That's number one.
Everyone should have a plan B.
Everyone should have a plan B. So how do we actually solve this, right? We know he's got issues with monogamy. That's causing reputational distress to us. We know he's got an issue with driving, especially while under the influence. So the action plan, what I've set forward to Tiger, we'll call it the one phone challenge. He'll attempt to survive with just one phone for a whole month. That's number one.
So all the burners are
all
to
the
the bin.
All the burners, texting his mistresses, they've got to go.
Yep.
Right? And then we've got a reputation rehabilitation clinic that I want to put him in. So this is 2 weeks of intensive training where he'll learn crucial skills like smiling without looking guilty and answering questions without creating more questions.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I want to get out of this. And how do we review this? Of course, we need to monitor his progress. We will conduct monthly reviews of his tabloid appearances. We're aiming for more Tiger hits, more 50-foot putts, and fewer Tiger sinks reputation headlines. That's kind of the plan.
Yep.
Obviously, next steps, right? We got to make sure this is all well and good. But we want Tiger to start writing apology speeches for future use. Take a page out of the YouTubers, Cody Code, Mr. Beast, etc.
Yep.
To be honest, at this company, we believe in second chances and third chances, and the list goes on. So I do think that if we give this plan to Tiger, he will improve because he's a valued asset at our institution.
Yeah, very qualitative measurements here. We're relying purely on how the media responds to us. And do we have any sort of media outlets that we're, potentially looking at?
I'm more of a Fox Sky man myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
The most right wing we can find.
We got to get them on our side for sure.
InfoWars.
Is Tiger Woods' value to the company still high enough for us to put it's such an intensive plan?
Oh, you think he's past it? He's no longer a valuable asset.
Back in the prime of Tiger Woods, I can understand
true.
allocating so much resource to him. But now,
What about his son, Charlie Woods? Is it Charlie Woods?
That's where I'm thinking. We've got the Woods legacy. Do
Legacy.
you know what I mean? We've got to keep Tiger happy so we can sneak Charlie.
Or do we build up Charlie? Slowly it's...
Oh, of course.
but you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
have Charlie without Tiger, and Tiger is dwindling right now. We got to push him back up.
What I'm saying is Charlie does not know his father's infidelity just yet. He's too young.
Oh, I'm sure he knows.
How old is that kid? He's like 13.
Yeah.
You reckon Tiger sat him down, son, Charlie?
I'm sure
I think
he's
you would have
Googling
read
his
a
dad.
couple things.
Wikipedia his dad.
Just quietly. That's actually insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Obviously, the drink driving I can't condone, so let's get him on that. But nighttime escapades, let the man be. If the Tiger wants to have fun, let him have fun. I think that's play on. We don't need to performance plan him on that. He's performing quite well from the sounds of it.
I think
It's the reputational damage to the company that's the problem.
that's what I'm saying. Like obviously now he's a free agent. He can do what he wants. But what I would like to see is him settle down with a nice partner, keep himself out of trouble, just focus solely on the golf.
We're trying to maintain a family image for our company.
I think
Family friendly.
it has to be like that.
Yeah.
We can't have any of this.
Well, good luck to Tiger. I don't know. I feel like he can't keep it in his pants, so we'll see.
He says he's got a sex addiction.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't Charlie Sheen also say he had a sex addiction?
It's actually, yeah.
Josh, he has every addiction under the
is
sun. Alrighty, I've got the last one for today. Ro mentioned him earlier. I have Mr. Beast. I have Jimmy himself.
Jimmy.
And Jimmy recently, get out of the room, mate. We've got to talk to the executives here. Jimmy has been a PR nightmare. Also been a HR nightmare.
Yeah.
So this performance plan is not coming off the back of me. It is coming off the back of another employee raising an issue with Jimmy. Filed a complaint on
Blew
Mr.
the whistle,
Beast.
didn't he?
Blew the whistle anonymously as well. All right, so just to give you guys, the lowdown of the report I got from this employee. The employee was put in a YouTube video called 100 Days in Solitary Confinement. And what did that mean? It meant that my friend here was put under bright lights for 24 hours a day. No lights off, couldn't sleep, which was sleep deprivation, which the employee has marked was actually an official use of serious torture. So
CIA
Jimmy
style.
is torturing his colleagues.
That's
First of all,
But is this the world we want to live in when you can't, deliver this sort of extreme human deprivation?
Torture your employees.
It's just
for a
getting,
bit of YouTube views.
I'm just putting out the complaint. We can make our judgments afterwards if it's good for the company or not.
just getting ridiculous.
On top of that, the employee was made to live in a cage for 24/7.
That's pretty fucked.
That actually, I'll draw the
That's
line
kinda
there.
bad.
You know, Guantanamo Bay torture, don't mind it. Living in a cage is dehumanizing.
Then after the sleep deprivation in the cage, the employee was made to run a 13-hour marathon.
What?
Despite having no sleep, no rest, no nothing.
Wait, what do you mean 13-hour marathon?
Brother, he's so deprived.
As in, sorry, he ran a marathon.
He had to run a marathon and it was completed in 13 hours, I believe.
Gotcha, okay.
According to reports. You know, I can't corroborate this information, but
That's cooked.
so the employee said, and in general, there's now a culture of favoritism and a toxic workplace and all of that. So all in all, I think we've got to take this complaint seriously and we've got to put him on a performance plan. So the areas requiring improvement, I think it's pretty simple here. Abiding by the Geneva Convention, right? We have an employee on our books not abiding by simple guidelines and also just treating people in the workplace with, you know, basic respect and basic human needs. We can't skimp on the human needs.
So we're going back to HR training. Day
This is pure HR.
Yep.
Treat how you'd like to be treated in the workplace, essentially.
Nice.
I mean, Jimmy, half marathon would have sufficed. You know what I mean? Like, did you have to give him a full one?
Exactly. So the overall performance goals is to decrease human rights violations by 50%
Yeah.
in the next month, right? I want to set some reasonable goals here. Can't go the full 100.
No, it's,
Right.
it's outrageous.
So the action plan, first of all, we're going to maintain a daily logbook of all interactions. And how are we going to verify this information? Of course, he's going to have his own little book to write his little journal. We're also going to put a GoPro on his chest.
Wow.
24/7.
So 24/7 vlogging of what's going on, and we will review the footage.
No privacy violations there. We should be good.
If he's violating other people, we can... Anyways, next on, we will have role-playing exercises between Mr. Beast and ourselves, the managers, just to see if he's learned.
I like
If he
that.
understands how to treat people with respect. The next week, we will instate 24/7 behind-the-scenes footage. So it'll go behind the scenes of Mr. Beast, and you know whatever he's trying to cover the GoPro with, we're going to see behind the scenes.
All footage sourced to us, right?
All footage, no intermediaries. Doesn't go through him, goes straight to us.
Yep.
What I'm worried about is, you know, in America, how they have body cams, the police, and they turn them off by accident before they brutally murder someone. How do we stop this?
That's why we have our third party behind the scenes.
Wow.
Okay.
It's not controlled by Mr. Beast at all. He
Someone
can't
is following him, basically.
exactly following the whole production, seeing
We'll
everything
always
going
be
on.
awake.
Dare I
Exactly.
suggest we sack off the GoPros. We just hire someone to follow him.
A PI, private investigator.
But he knows. He knows that they're there.
It's a public investigator. Potentially. Then last, we'll have random spot tests with employees trying to challenge Mr. B. See, push him to his limit. See if he goes back to get in the cage type behavior.
Yeah.
All right, what resource and support will we offer him? Just the basics, copy of the Geneva Human Conventions
Nice.
and basic training on how to treat your colleagues 101 and how to act in the workplace 101. And how are we going to review this? We're going to have weekly ones-to-ones with his line manager to check in with the progress and review the footage. We're going to sit him down and we're going to watch the footage together. He spent, hours reading every word in the dictionary and those type of challenges so he can watch his 24/7 footage and review it. And then the next step. So if the performance is satisfactory over the next 90 days, we'll work on reducing the human rights violations by 75% now.
Nice.
Step by step. But if performance is unsatisfactory, then we will cancel Jimmy's contract as per the cancellation clause.
Yep.
I feel like we should make him make a video about it. I treat my employees with respect for 24 hours challenge or something.
Brackets, impossible.
Or last one to leave the square has to front up to the UN or some shit. I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's a good idea. You'll put him, in an environment he knows and he has to apply these skills in the workplace. That's what you want, right? Apply training, the theory to the practical. And I think
But
that's
we
a good
want to take
idea
this
as well.
seriously. We don't want to make this into a YouTube joke. And I think, making sure he reads every single page of the Geneva Convention is super important.
So what, is he actually done? Is how serious is this? Like, could he be over? Or?
Nah,
At time of recording, it is still more information is coming out. Currently, there's one employee that has made a couple of videos and put this information out, but there's still a lot of Mr. Beast fans trying to challenge the information. But
Has he said anything about it or acknowledged it? Or?
I'm actually not sure. My research didn't go that far.
No, Jimmy hasn't said anything, which is, of course, what we
Probably what you
want.
should do.
I think he's deleting comments now, though.
Oh,
So if you go on his YouTube videos and you start putting all this information
the
there,
Cody Co way of
delete.
doing it.
Yeah. What is he playing sorry at a
On
DJ
ukulele.
set? Instead of actually saying sorry.
To be fair, Mr. Beast, if it all ended now, he'd still be a multi 100 millionaire. So, I mean, does he really
But to the benefit for us, obviously, we don't want him to go down.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
I'm saying, I think this performance plan, I would like to keep the number one YouTuber on our roster.
On our roster, yeah.
It keeps our share price high.
Exactly
Very
right.
high.
So I'm thinking like we can either go this way, we can rehabilitate Mr. Beast, but then maybe we get less viral videos potentially.
But he is a bit tizzy, isn't he? Like he is like that's kind of how he is. That's how he's built. Like
Is that what
he's-
you're saying the emotions are
Like
not
he
there?
doesn't, yeah. Like he's a sociopath. Like he doesn't have that kind of
He's a perfectionist. That's why
cognitive
he's
ability to realize I'm torturing people. For him, it's content.
I think you should
He's a-
know that a cage is slightly.
I don't think he does though.
So, well, that's what Mick said. We're going to put it to the test. You know, we're going to put a cage there, maybe like a single
We'll
bed.
put an employee at a cage and see if he puts one in the other.
Does the employee go to the bed from IKEA, or do they go to the cage from Guantanamo Bay? We'll see what happens.
But I remember this sort of stuff came out a few years ago about it. But like back then, it was just he's a perfectionist. Apparently, like a lot of his editors like kind of like quit because like the working like hours and like he just put so much pressure on them to just pump these videos out quickly as possible.
When it's all going well, you're a perfectionist, and when it goes south, you're a sociopath.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like
It's a fine
really,
line.
it's a
It is
fine
a
line
very
between the
fine
two.
line.
I like the performance plan, Migs. I like to get Jimmy on it immediately in order to try and rehabilitate him because he's causing us some serious damage.
But we can get him back on the good side, is what you're saying. If we do it now.
We have to do it right now because let's look at his videos, right? The ones that I love, the ones that made him famous, giving money to random Twitch streamers with 0 views, you know, finding a homeless guy and giving him a house, right? Those were the good old days. Why have we now progressed
To solitary
to
confinement.
solitary confinement? And I trapped this guy in a coffin and fed him, a Cocoa Pop a day to see how long he'd last. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, where have we gone wrong?
We'll bring him back.
I don't think it's that bad. He's got 300 million subscribers. I think
he's
he'll be fine. He's going to be fine.